Okay, this video is going to walk you through how to do the mapping activity in Google My Maps or My Google Maps to create a interactive map with locations of the world's volcanoes. Okay, so you should already be, if you're watching this video, you should have already navigated to the Google Classroom assignment, which is the mapping volcanoes with My Google Maps. The instructions are in the Google document. This is what I'm reading through and showing you how to do. You may just use the written instructions, or you can follow along, watch the video, and do each step along the way with me here. So in the written instructions, step one is just going to the correct assignment and opening the instructions. These instructions are on a Google document, which is view only for you to be able to interact with. There are links inside the Google document to the necessary information, the necessary documents, and the necessary data that you're going to use to create your map. So you can open that there, or you can actually open the Google Sheet that we're going to be using and go to My Maps using the links that are on the Google Classroom assignment as well. So let's look at step two, copying the Google Sheet volcano data set. So that data set is this Google Sheets that's titled Volcanoes. You can either click on it there in the Google Classroom or click this link and open it. You should not be able to edit it. So your view is going to look a little different than what mine is in this video. You're not going to be able to edit it, so you need to make a copy for you to use in this lab. Remember, to make a copy of a document or a Google Sheet in this case, you're going to go to File, click on File, and then click Make a Copy. A dialog box comes up. It's going to default to calling it Copy of Volcanoes, and yours should actually default not to the folder that I'm showing here, but rather just My Drive. Okay, so yours is going to default, or should default, to Copy of Volcanoes, and the folder as My Drive. You don't need to click anything else. Make sure that those two things are highlighted, and then click OK. It'll open up your copy in a new tab. So close the old one and keep open your copy of Volcanoes. Okay, step number 3 is to navigate to Google Maps. So if you're not done with step 2, pause the video here, follow the instructions that step 2 goes through, and then let's work on step 3. Step 3 is to navigate to Google My Maps. You can either click the link that I've provided, or you can go to google.com/maps/about/mymaps. Should get you to this screen. Then click Get Started. Okay, you can see that I've already have several maps that I've made. Yours should be completely blank. We are going to start step 4 here. And what you need to do is create and name a new map. So to start, we're going to click Create New Map. Give it a second, and it'll create an untitled map. And it will also be centered on the United States. Go up here to the title, click on it, and a dialog box opens, and change untitled map to this: Evidence for Plate Tectonics. So this whole unit is all about plate tectonics, and we are going to be working on this same map through this unit and the next. So even though we're working on adding the volcanoes to this map, we're going to add a lot more stuff. So we're going to call it Evidence for Plate Tectonics, not volcano maps or something like that. Okay. Change the title. We've done that. You don't need to change the description, and just click save. Okay. Leave this map tab open. Step number 5 is to name a layer and import the volcano data. Okay, you can see that it's giving us a helpful little bubble here talking about adding and importing data, which is what we're going to do in this step. Each time we add data to the map, we will create a new layer to display it on. The map will have one blank layer already added as a default. This is this untitled layer. Click on Untitled Layer and change the layer name to Volcanoes. And then click Save. Next, click the link that says Import. Now, we just created a copy of the Volcano data sheet. So we want to select from Google Drive, and then I want you to click on Recent. Since we just created this copy of our volcano data, there it is, right here. Okay, so all we need to do is select it, and then click Select. And it's going to import the document, import the issue, import the data, I should say. This new data dialog box that opens, we have to choose some things on how this data will be imported. Okay, this is to tell what parts of the data sheet that we actually want to use, and the file has the location of every volcano in latitude and longitude. So that's what we need to be able to tell it where these volcanoes are actually at. So longitude and latitude. Latitude is first, and it says select the columns that you want to tell us where to put the place marks. So check latitude, okay, and check latitude. Make sure they match. Okay, the title of the column that says latitude is the latitude coordinates, and then longitude is the longitude coordinates. So do that with both of those. And then repeat this step. Okay, so do latitude and then longitude. Once both have been correctly selected, press continue. The next dialog box will ask which column of data to use to identify each data point. So we want to use the volcano names to identify each volcano, and click finish. It is going to populate our map with these locations. Data points now are all the different volcanoes. And we can click on one of these and it can tell us what the title of the volcano was, where it's at, and it even tells us the type and the elevation, how high above sea level it is. This one is Loihai, which is one of the newer Hawaiian Island volcanoes, and its elevation is negative 975 because it's actually underwater. It's under the ocean surface. So stop and think. Your Google document questions. Pause here on working on actually making the map and answer 2 questions that are in the workbook or on the Google document. And it says, are there any areas with high density of volcanoes? So you can see where all the dots are. Those are where the most volcanoes are. You can zoom in and kind of see how close they actually are to each other. So you can answer that question and answer if there are any areas that seem to lack volcanoes. So where there are no dots, answer those questions. Okay, so you should be through the first section of instructions, steps 1 through 5. If you haven't completed those steps, you can pause now and get to this this finished point. At any time, if you need to exit out of the Google Maps or close the window, you can get back to your map that you're creating by clicking on My Maps and then going to the ones you have created. Okay, let's look at step 6. We're going to add more information because in the data set, we not only had the volcano's name and latitude and longitude, but we also had what country it's in, the type of volcano that it is, and the elevation of the volcano, how many meters above sea level it is. So we can actually tell my maps to color code each location pin for the volcanoes based on the data that we have included. Okay, so we are going to change and make our data set show the volcano's type. Okay, so beneath the volcanoes layer, click on Uniform Style. Okay, a new box opens and click the Uniform Style option again. Then choose Type in the drop box that appears. And once it's compiled the data, there will be a new layer with all of the different types of volcanoes. So it automatically changed the dots, the little pins, and now they're color coded with what type of volcano they are. So this is already showing us some really good data interpretation, but let's make it even prettier and more user-friendly by changing the symbols and the colors of different volcanoes. Okay, so step 7, change the color and symbol of the data categories. Stratovolcanoes are the most explosive and therefore most dangerous volcanoes on Earth. Let's change the symbol and color of these volcanoes on our map to reflect this. So let's hover over the stratovolcano option in the key and then click on the little paint bucket. Here you have a choice to change the color. Let's change the color to red. Okay, so now you see that all of the stratovolcano pins have turned to red. And then at the bottom of the little menu here, we can change to the explosion icon. And if it's not in the popular icons, okay, we can click more icons, and then we can find the explosion. I believe it is going to be down in crises. Yeah. So it's under crisis, and let's choose explosion and then click OK. All right, so now all of the stratovolcanoes are these explosion dots. Let's change all of the other volcanoes to the volcano icon. Okay, so you can leave them the colors that they are and go to more icons. And in the crisis, there is a volcano symbol right here. And we're going to choose that for every single one of these. Okay, so we're going to change it. And now that we've done it once, the volcano icon will be down there in the other icons list down at the bottom. So we'll go through real quick and change all of those. Okay, that finishes up step number 7. Step number 8 is going to walk us through how to add a piece of data. And if we look for Mount St. Helens, which is in Washington, it's actually not in this data set that we imported. So this is a really famous eruption, happened in 1980, and we want to add this to our data map. So let's search for Mount St. Helens using the search bar at the top. Type in Mount St. Helens, and you'll see that it has come up in the search menu, or we can just hit search. Okay, click search for it, and it is now located. Okay, so now let's add it to our map. So click add to map. Okay, now we need to add some information. Okay, so we need to edit this data point to match our other volcanoes. So we'll click edit, add USA for country, and it is a stratovolcano. So we're going to add stratovolcano to its type. And let's just leave elevation blank because it's not really information that we are going to use for this thing. Now, if you've done this correctly, it will have changed its symbol now to the explosion and the red stratovolcano symbol. And if you zoom out, you can actually see Mount St. Helens here in the map. Okay, your map is now finished. You can zoom around and look at different places where there are volcanoes, and you could actually use this map to answer the conclusion questions, numbers 3 through 6. Okay, you're going to be graded not only on being able to complete this map correctly, okay, following the instructions we just created, but you're also going to be graded on those 6 questions. So make sure that you not only answer the questions, but that you have created the map correctly and changed the settings correctly. All right. Once you're finished with the map and you're finished answering the questions, you can close all of these. And later, when we come back to this map and edit it, I'll show you how to reopen this and add more information to it along the way.